Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are, if you're in London or in Minsk. And a very big hello to you guys at Tripledot Studios. Thank you very much for having me wherever you are playing today. I'm very delighted to be here. This is the Big Nerd Pub Quiz special just for you guys. This is a customized quiz in which you guys could win a gift voucher from the company. So best of luck. Hope you're all ready in your teams. This is how you play the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Very simply, there's a Google link, a Google form in the YouTube description below. Basically, open up the email, or open up the Google link itself. Pop in your email address, and if you're playing as a team, there's an option there to put your name in, your team name in. There's 8 rounds today with 6 questions each. There's only one correct answer per question. All questions are correct, as verified by me as the Quizmaster. And like I said, the Quizmaster's word is final. Once the quiz is finished, all you have to do is hit submit at the very end. You're going to get your scores, but stick about for the answers. And we'll reveal the winner of the quiz at the very, very end. In the event of a tie, I have come up with a special tiebreaker question, because we can't just have joint first. I do have a tiebreaker question. So in the event of a tie, on the unlikely event of a tie, we do have a tiebreaker question, which I will reveal at the very end if needed. So like I said, as you know, you probably have this streaming on a laptop or a television, but use the Google form on a different device like your phone. That's possibly the best way to play the quiz. All remains for me to say to everybody is good luck. And best of luck to you guys out there wherever you're playing. Don't forget, Big Nerd Pub Quiz is in all these different social media channels. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you want to shout out at any point in the quiz, give me a DM via Facebook or Instagram. That's the best way to get in touch with me. Like I said, it's the best way. It's probably either Facebook or Instagram's the best way. Or email me on bignerdpubquiz@gmail.com. Share your pics online. Love seeing where you're playing and how you're getting on. Use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel itself. Like I said, this is my first ever corporate gig. Thank you very much, Simon, for hiring me. But yes, you can hire Big Nerd Pub Quiz for all your different corporate events. Perfect activity for social distancing. It's perfectly customizable with graphics, and it's affordable and easy to set up. And you can replay, if you're into your quizzes, there's tons of quizzes on my site there. If you're into Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, we did a Lord of the Rings quiz last night actually. I had a Harry Potter, Star Trek, Game of Thrones, Disney, all sorts of quizzes there that you can play and entertain yourself. And I do a general knowledge quiz every Sunday night at 8 UK time. And next week I'm doing a science fiction and a Big Nerd Doctor Who quiz for anyone out there who's interested in that. Anyway, like I said, thank you very much for having me this afternoon. Like I said, the quiz, I set this up just before lockdown started, and it's become, like I said, a little business for me. I'm doing the quizzes up to 3 times a week now, and I even do a kids quiz as well. I've even got merchandise as well, so we might throw 1 or 2 of these t-shirts, these amazing Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirts, in with a prize bundle to whoever is lucky. Okay, so everybody, are you all ready? Get on your Google Forms now. Let's play Big Nerd Pub Quiz. And here's your first round. As we do all the rounds in the Big Nerd Pub Quiz, it's a general knowledge round. All right. So basically, I'm going to go through the questions twice each, and then at the very end, we do a wrap up of the questions. And don't worry if I'm going too fast. You can that's why I repeat everything. So don't worry if I'm going too fast. Do each question twice, and then a wrap up at the very end, and then we move on. Okay. Cool. Are we all ready? Here we go. Round 1, question number 1. So what is the nautical term for the front of a ship? Round 1, question 1. So what is the nautical term for the front of a ship? Okay, so round 1, question number 1. In case you guys are wondering, by the way, I'm actually broadcasting from Ireland. So I'm just on the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. and County Down. A long way away. So, round 1, question 1. What is the nautical term for the front of a ship? You'll have 4 answers in your Google Doc. If you don't know it, like I said, always just have a guess. Moving on to round 1, question number 2. So this is a very current thing. I only learned about this today. The object, Neowise, is currently visible in the skies over the Earth. But what is Neowise? It's round 1, question number 2. So round 1, question 2. The object, Neowise, is currently visible in the skies over the planet Earth this week. But what is Neowise? Round 1, question 2. Round 1, question number 3. In which country was this year's Eurovision Song Contest meant to have been held? So round 1, question number 3. In which country was this year's Eurovision Song Contest meant to have been held? As we all know, COVID-19 has put a stop to a lot of different things. And that picture there from the new Eurovision movie, Will Ferrell. But in which country was this year's Eurovision Song Contest meant to have been held? Round 1, question 4. You might recognise this, but the dancing pallbearers have become a famous meme around the world. But in which country are they from? Yes, you'll have seen this used multiple times as a meme. It's become quite popular. But round 1, question 4. The dancing pallbearers have become a famous meme around the world. But which country are they from? So round 1, question 4. Moving on to round 1, question number 5. In which city was the DeLorean car made famous by the Back to the Future films built? So yes, Marty McFly and Doc Brown, the famous 1985 movie, which featured a DeLorean DMC-12, which was the famous stainless steel shell. But in which city was the DeLorean car, made famous by the Back to the Future movies, built? Round 1, question 5. And your final question of the round is... So what is the English term used to describe the famous Shinkansen high-speed train? Round 1, question number 6. So what is the English term used to describe the famous Shinkansen high-speed train? Round 1, question number 6. Do let me know if I'm going too quickly. We're just about 14 minutes in. Quiz lasts about an hour. But we might just go over that if it goes into a tiebreaker, alright? So round 1, question 6. The English term used to describe the famous Shinkansen high-speed train. And there is your roundup of your general knowledge questions. Go through those one more time. So what is the nautical term for the front of a ship? The object Neowise is currently visible in the skies over Earth, but what is Neowise? Number 2. Number 3, in which country was this year's Eurovision Song Contest meant to have been held? 4, the dancing pallbearers have become a famous meme around the world, but in which country are they from? 5, in which city was the DeLorean car made famous by the Back to the Future films built? And number 6, what is the English term used to describe the famous Shinkansen high-speed trains? They're very fast. I managed to travel on one a couple of months ago. So that's round 1. Alright, thank you very much. So that's all round 1 done and dusted. So that's 1 down, 7 to go. Hope you're all enjoying the quiz. Like I said before, use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz if you want to get in touch with me. Like I said, there's all the links there for my social media. If you want to have any feedback at any point, or like you want to shout out or you want to share your picks, by all means. So, to Minsk and London, next round is all about games. Yes. Figured we'd have a games round given the fact that you guys are a games development company. So, and it's a pretty nerdy quiz, just gonna throw that out there. Like, I didn't hold back. Like, this, it generally is quite a nerdy quiz when I do them every week. But, yes, decided to make this one super nerdy just for you guys. Okay, so here we go. And this isn't just about computer games. This is about board games as well. So I've thrown in 1 or 2 questions like that. So here we go. Round 2, question number 1. The iconic character of Mario first appeared in which Nintendo arcade game as Jumpman? So round 2, question number 1. The iconic character of Mario first appeared in which Nintendo arcade game as Jumpman? It's round 2, question number 1. Pretty sure a load of you got that. Round 2, question number 2. According to the 2009 Guinness Book of Records, what is the highest selling video game for the PlayStation 2? Yes, the PlayStation 2 is now 20 years old, and I can't believe how old that is. It's just, yeah, that's not... It feels like 10 years ago that the PlayStation 2 came out, but no, it's not. It's a lot older than that. But according to the 2009 Guinness Book of World Records, what's the highest selling video game for the PlayStation 2? All right. Round 2, question number 3. So what type of animal is Sonic's companion, Knuckles? Truth be told, this is kind of one of those TIL moments for me as well. I was putting this quiz together, I was like, oh, didn't know that. Round 2, question 3. What type of animal is Sonic's companion, Knuckles? I don't think game developers in Japan ever saw an actual hedgehog when they designed Sonic. Hedgehogs aren't blue. Certainly don't look like that anyway. But what type of animal is Sonic's companion, Knuckles? That's your third question of the games one. Round 2, question number 4. In which year was the very first official FIFA football game released? Yes, the FIFA series now, coming out every single year for every single games console. I remember my first... I think I remember playing the World Cup one in 1998 as a teenager. Very big fan of that game. And the fantastic soundtracks as well. But round 2, question 4. In which year was the very first official FIFA football game released by Electronic Arts, EA? Round 2, question 4. Round 2, question 5. A little bit more analog, this one. But what is the geometric term used to describe a 20-sided die in Dungeons and Dragons, commonly known as a D20? It's round 2, question number 5. What is the geometric term used to describe a 20-sided die in Dungeons and Dragons, commonly known as a D20? Any Dungeons and Dragons players out there, D&D players? Let me know. It's always a great game to play. Round 2, question 5. And your final games question of this afternoon / evening. Round 2, question 6. In the UK version of Monopoly, there are 4 stations: King's Cross, Marylebone, and Liverpool Street. And which other terminal? So this is the UK version of Monopoly, not the US one. But the UK version of Monopoly, there are 4 stations: King's Cross, Marylebone, Liverpool Street, and which other terminal? So yes, round 2, question number 6. And there's your games roundup there. So to go over them one more time, the iconic character Mario appeared in which Nintendo arcade game as Jumpman, his very first appearance? Number 2. According to the 2009 Guinness Book of World Records, what is the highest selling video game for the PlayStation 2? Number 3. What type of animal is Sonic's companion, Knuckles? Number 4. In which year was the first official FIFA football game released? 5. What is the geometric term used to describe a 20-sided die in Dungeons & Dragons, commonly known as a D20? And finally, in the UK version of Monopoly, there are 4 stations: King's Cross, Marylebone, Liverpool Street, and which other terminal? I'm not too sure exactly which popular version of Monopoly is played in Europe. I'm assuming it might be the UK one. I'm not too sure. Anyway, but thank you very much. That is the games round all rounded up. So let's just move swiftly on to the next one. And again, I thought that you guys would enjoy this one. It's a Marvel DC round. Yes, this is a selection of quiz questions from the Marvel DC quiz I did a couple of weeks ago that was written by a buddy of mine. So I thought I'd take the best of those and stick them into a round for you. These are based on the Marvel TV series, the movies, and other bits and bobs from the comic book world, really. So here we go. Round 3. Question number 1. So this is okay, so here we go. Round 3, question 1. Name the scientist played by Bill Bixby, who transforms into the Hulk in the classic TV series starring Lou Ferrigno. So yes, the classic 70s, late 70s Marvel adaptation of the Hulk. This is way, way before superhero movies became cool and big budgeted. But name the scientist played by Bill Bixby, who transforms into the Hulk in the classic TV series, also starring Lou Ferrigno. It's round 3, question number 1. Round 3, question 2. So director James Gunn has helmed 2 of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies for Marvel, but which DC sequel is he currently working on? Round 3, question 2. It's a bit of a crossover there. So round 3, question 2. So director James Gunn has worked on 2 of the Guardians of the Galaxy sequels for Marvel, but which DC sequel is he currently working on? It's round 3, question number 2. Round 3, question 3. How many Superman movies feature Christopher Reeve as the titular character? Yes, arguably the best Superman, in my opinion. Definitely the best Superman. Yeah, he hands down embodies the role. But how many Superman movies did he make? Bear in mind, one of them was shot in Milton Keynes. Yeah, I know that's hard to believe. They substituted Milton Keynes for New York. How does that even work? But how many Superman movies featured Christopher Reeve as the titular character, Superman, or Clark Kent? Round 3, question 3. Moving on to round 3, question number 4. Which actor confirmed in the past few weeks that he'd be returning to the role of John Jonah Jameson Jr.? Yes, he's better known as the editor-in-chief in the Spider-Man universe. But round 3, question 4. Which actor confirmed in the past few weeks that he'd be returning to his iconic role of John Jonah Jameson Jr. in possibly one of the new Spider-Man movies. They remake them every weekend. So many of them, I can't even keep up. Round 3, question 4. Alright, moving on. Round 3, question number 5. So, which is the only MCU movie not to have a mid or a post-credit scene? Yes, if you go see a Marvel movie, always stick about to the end because there's always a bit extra. I'm normally gone. I'm normally forget this, out the door. But in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is the only film not to have a post or mid-credits scene. You know what I mean by that, right? So at the very end, they show a little bit extra. What's the only of the MCU movies listed there in those options that doesn't have a mid or post credits scene? Round 3, question 5. And the very last one there. Round 3, question 6. Who directed 2017's Wonder Woman? Gal Gadot and Chris Pine teaming up for the big blockbuster there. Big win for DC, that. Considering a lot of their other movies are quite subpar, in my opinion. But the round 3, question 6. Who directed 2017's Wonder Woman? It's round 3, question 6. And there's your roundup of Marvel DC questions there. I'll go through them one more time. Name the scientist, played by Bill Bixby, who transforms into the Hulk in the classic TV series, also starring Lou Ferrigno. That's number 1. Number 2, director James Gunn has helmed 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies for Marvel, but which DC sequel is he currently working on? 3, how many Superman movies featuring Christopher Reeve as the titular character? It's number 3. Number 4, which actor confirmed in the past few weeks that he'd be returning to his iconic role of John Jonah Jameson Jr., the editor of the newspaper? Number 5, which is the only MCU movie not to have a post-credits sequence shown in those options there? Pretty sure Howard the Duck doesn't have one. I don't know. I haven't watched it. And it's a Marvel movie. And number 6, who directed 2017's Wonder Woman? Give you a couple of seconds there to tabulate your answers. So like I said, the best way I think to play the quiz is actually have a little bit of a notepad and paper, because you can always take notes and go back. But yes, just big heads up. Do not refresh the Google answer sheet at any time, because you will lose all your answers. I get a big heads up on that. I had people go, I've lost everything. So do make sure you don't hit refresh on whatever device you're using to play the quiz. All right, here we go. Here's our next round. And we're sticking with the world of movies, and I think you will need a pen and paper for this one, because it's a Kevin Bacon round. Now, Kevin Bacon, yes, we've all heard the term, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's basically you can link the Kevin Bacon to any other film star in Hollywood via 6 degrees. Or is it 8? I don't know. Anyway, you can actually Google a Bacon number, but any particular actor, say, I don't know, Marilyn Monroe. She was in Something Like It Hot with Jack Lemmon. Jack Lemmon's in John F. Kennedy, the JFK movie with Oliver Stone, and he's also with Kevin Bacon. So like Marilyn Monroe to Kevin Bacon's like 3. You get me. But I'm not going to talk about that. No, far from it. This is an interesting round in that we have to put these movies in order. Okay, so waste no more time. We're going to go on to it. So place these Kevin Bacon films in order of their release. So Mystic River, Apollo 13, Animal House, X-Men First Class, Footloose, and A Few Good Men. So I'll leave these up for a couple of minutes, let you guys take them in. Basically, if you think Mystic River was the first Kevin Bacon movie to come out, put it at number 1. If you think Apollo 13 was the second one, put it at number 2, and work your way down. The latest one should be number 6, okay? So, if you have a pen and paper, kind of sit down and work it out. So Mystic River, Apollo 13, Animal House, X-Men First Class, Footloose, and A Few Good Men. Kind of way to look at it is you kind of age Kevin Bacon in a way. Let's start off with the one you think he looks the youngest in. But yes, now the face of the EE Mobile Network over here. But yes, a very well-rounded actor from a lot of different Hollywood movies. So yes, I'll leave this up for a couple of minutes for you guys to work out. Mystic River, Apollo 13, Animal House, X-Men First Class, Footloose, and Few Good Men. Put them in order. The first one to come out, the earliest, and ending with the latest. I can honestly say to you, I haven't seen Footloose. It's one of those movies, it's on the list. I know what it's about. It's got Kenny Loggins in it, doing the soundtrack, but I just haven't got around to it. Apollo 13 is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I actually was watching it last night. Did a bit of a space binge with First Man and The Martian. Yeah, I had to watch Apollo 13 after that. But Mystic River, X-Men First Class, Apollo 13, Footloose, Animal House, A Few Good Men. I'll give you another 2 minutes on that. That's actually brought us up very nicely to the halfway point in the quiz. I'll let you work away. So I'll give you 1 more minute on that for you guys to kind of work out. Like I said, if you have a pen and paper beside you, you can probably kind of work it out and then put in the questions. Remember, if you get one of them wrong, you're going to get another one of them wrong. You better get, the best way is to get them all right. Round 4. Place the Kevin Bacon movies in order of their release dates. Mystic River, Apollo 13, Animal House, X-Men First Class, Footloose, and A Few Good Men. I am aware there's a very slight delay on this, so I'm going to, by my watch, I'm going to give you to 16:33, but that's a 20-second delay. By 16:33 or 18:33, wherever you're playing in Minsk. How's the weather over there? I can tell you it's very wet here in Ireland. We had a fantastic summer, but that was earlier in the year, and then they've kind of lifted lockdown, and the bad weather's back. Sod's law. Okay, we've got 15 more seconds left, and then I'm going to move on to the next round. And that's it. That is your Kevin Bacon round all done. I've got a couple of shout-outs here from Oliver, who wants to say hello to the new starters this week. Jess, Ilya, Luke, and Olga. Big welcome to Tripledot from Oliver there. And lovely to welcome you guys on part to the team. Anyway, thanks very much. And yes, if you kind of want a shout-out at any point, like I said, get in touch with me via any of those social media things. I'll give your name a wee bit of a buzz. It's what I do on the quiz generally when there's a lot of other people playing it. Anyway, thanks for joining me. We're going to move swiftly on. We're over halfway through the quiz now, and we're going to move on to the next round today. We're going to move on to the sports round. Yes, always do a sports round with this quiz. Yeah, I know a lot of people either love or loathe sports. Me, I'm a huge sports fan. I love my rugby. I love my football. I'm a West Ham fan. I'm very hopeful that we'll stay up this year. But yes, I always put it sportsman because at the end of the day, sports fans are nerds. They just don't know it. Anyway, round 5, question 1. Hope you're all ready. Here we go. So, in the game of snooker, how many points do you get for sinking the pink? So, round 5, question number 1. So, how many points do you get for potting the pink ball in snooker? So round 5, question number 1. Round 5, question number 2. Which country won the first FIFA Football World Cup in 1930? Yes, the original Football World Cup was known as the Jules Rimet Trophy. And it was won by Brazil 3 times. They picked it up in 1970 for the 3rd time. And it was famously stolen. And they don't know where it is. They reckon it's been melted down. But when England had it in 1966, it was also stolen, but found by a little dog called Pickles. But which country won the first FIFA Football World Cup all the way back in 1930? They don't let you keep it anymore, I know that. Round 5, question 3. Which trophy is contested in Test cricket between Australia and England? And I know the word trophy might be a little bit of a misnomer there. But what trophy, what accolade in Test cricket is contested between Australia and England? I think they say basically Australia's raison d'etre, as it were, is just to beat England. That's their main goal in cricketing life. But what's the trophy called? What's the accolade? Contested between England and Australia in Test cricket. Round 5, question 3. Not sure. I'm not sure. Cricket's a big sport in Belarus, but you never know. Round 5, question 4, and this again was in the news today because the Champions League draw was on. But in which city is this year's Champions League final going to be held? It's round 5, question 4. Some very interesting draws there. I'm putting my money on Man City. I think their form in the last couple of... I think the form's been incredible. Kevin De Bruyne's probably one of the greatest players out there. I can see them doing it. Their form has been... Yeah, I think even beating Liverpool like 4 or 5-0 the other night. Maybe that was because Liverpool had drank too much. But in which city is this year's Champions League final going to be held? Round 5, question 5. In the film Cool Runnings, the story of the Jamaican bobsleigh team took place in the Winter Olympics in Calgary. But what year did those Olympics take place? You all know the movie about the Jamaican lads and they all take up bobsledding. Based on a true story. Yes, that did happen. There was a Jamaican bobsledding team. But in which Winter Olympics did they take part in? In which year did the Calgary Winter Olympics take place? In which of those events happened? All right, round 5, question 5. And final sports question. So how many times did Michael Schumacher win the Formula 1 championship? He currently holds the record for the most amount of wins. Any racing fans out there? Formula 1 season's back too. Round 5, question 6. How many times did Michael Schumacher win the Formula 1 championships? He currently holds the record for the most number of wins. Round 5, question number 6. And that's your sports roundup there. Go through them one more time. So how many points do you get for sinking the pink in snooker? Which country won the first ever FIFA World Cup in 1930? Number 3, what trophy is contested in Test cricket between Australia and England? 4, in which city is this year's Champions League final going to be held? 5, in the film Cool Runnings, the story of a Jamaican bobsleigh team took place at the Winter Olympics at Calgary. But what year did those Olympics take place? I'm looking for the year those actual factual events took place. And finally, number 6. How many times did Michael Schumacher win the Formula 1 championships? He currently holds the record for the most amount of wins. All right, so that's the roundup there of the sports questions. Like I said, if you're enjoying the quiz, by all means, do tune in. I do a quiz now every Sunday night. And we do tons and tons of specialty quizzes as well. Like I've got like tons of ones coming up this month, including science fiction, Doctor Who. I've got a games quiz next week. Doing a wrestling one. And a music quiz the week after that. And a Star Trek one for all you Trekkies. And like I said, you can replay all these other ones as well. If you have the time, you can always play them with your family and your friends. They're always a great laugh. So I always leave the question sheets up. Anyway, moving on to the next round. And round 6, it's all about history. All right. So 6 questions, all about history. Waste no more time. We'll move straight in. Round 6, question 1. So who was the first American astronaut in space? It's round 6, question 1. We all know the Russian Yuri Gagarin was the first to make it into space. But who was the first American to follow him? Round 6, question 1. First American in space. Round 6, question number 2. In 1905, sailors started a mutiny aboard which Russian battleship? It was later made into a movie by Sergei Eisenstein in the mid-20s. So yes, in 1905. It's based, again, true story as well. But in 1905, sailors started a mutiny aboard which Russian battleship, which was later made into a very famous film by Sergei Eisenstein, the man who created the Soviet montage style of cinema. Round 6, question 2. Round 6, question 3. Which sovereign country was the first in the world to give women the right to vote in 1893, albeit not allowing women to stand for parliament until 1919? So, first country to award suffrage to women. 1893. Now, I know there is a couple of debatable ones in terms of, like, there's various states and various provinces in various countries allowed women to vote way before. But historically, as a sovereign country, as one sovereign country, which was the first sovereign country in the world to give women the right to vote in 1893, albeit not allowing women to actually stand for parliament until 1919. Round 6, question number 4. What was the first surname shared by two presidents of the United States? That's round 6, question number 4. What was the first surname shared by two presidents of the United States of America? So we've got a big election coming up this year in the States. 2020 is always an election year. Or any year that the Olympics are on is always the year of an election. But round 6, question 4. What was the first surname? The first surname shared by two presidents of the United States of America. Round 6, question number 5. The Carnation Revolution overthrew the oppressive fascist regime in which country in 1974? And again, really an interesting fun fact about that. The rebels at the time, it was a mostly very, very peaceful revolution, bloodless coup in a way, and it established a democracy in the country which had been absent for quite a while. But they actually used their song's Eurovision entry. The Eurovision was on that night, and it took place around about the 24th of May, I believe. And they used when their country's song came on. And again, it was an unremarkable tune, but once that happened, that was the signal to begin the revolution itself. But round 6, question 5. The Carnation Revolution, as it's become to be known, overthrew the oppressive fascist regime in which European country in 1974? And your final history and politics question. Which year was Hong Kong handed back to China, ending 156 years of British control of the area? Yes, Hong Kong in the news quite a lot now because of pro-democracy protests in the city-state itself. And there's also been a very, very tentative relationship between the two countries. But which year was Hong Kong handed back to China, ending 156 years of British control of the area? That's round 6, question 6. And there is your roundup of history and politics questions. So round 6, question 1. Who was the first American astronaut in space? 2. On this day, in 1905, a sailor started a mutiny aboard which Russian battleship? 3. Which sovereign country was the first in the world to give women the right to vote? 4. What surname was shared by two presidents of the United States? 5. The Carnation Revolution overthrew the oppressive regime in which European country in 1974? And 6. Which year was Hong Kong handed back to China, ending 156 years of British control of the area? Yes, it was actually famously handed over to the British as part of a lease. And then it was formalized. And then, yes, they gave it back on that particular date. Anyway, thank you very much for joining. I keep on forgetting that I'm actually not doing this for part of my broadcast. You're here because you're at work, dude, and I'm really, really happy to have you to be joining you guys at Tripledot here. I hope you're all enjoying the quiz itself, and hope you're all doing well. Let me know what you think, and we'll see how you get on at the very end. Just to give you a big heads up, we're coming into our penultimate round, but at the very end of the quiz, what I will do is we'll put a 5-minute hold, and we'll come back with all the winners to see how you have all got on. So here we go. Round 7 is all about inventions and technology. Yes, I figured, and again, another kind of round that you guys would really like. So here we go. Round 7, question number 1. So what soft drink was invented in 1886 by biochemist from Georgia, Dr. John Pemberton? Okay, think about it. Clue could be there in the name, maybe? Or maybe not, I don't know. Round 7, question 1. What soft drink was invented in 1886 by a biochemist from Georgia called Dr. John Pemberton? It's round 7, question number 1. Round 7, question 2. The iconic Rubik's Cube, a popular puzzle during the 1980s, was invented by architect Erno Rubik. But where was he from? Which country was Erno Rubik from? I always thought he was an engineer. Then I found out he was actually an architect. But yes, he made the puzzle itself, became a worldwide, very, very popular game. One of the most popular selling games of all time, or toys of all time. Round 7, question 2. The iconic Rubik's Cube, popular puzzle in the 1980s, was invented by architect Erno Rubik. But where was he from? Which country was he from? Round 7, question number 3. Which car manufacturer is considered to be the oldest in the world? Its inventor and part namesake is credited with inventing the first powered automobile in 1883. The first gasoline-powered automobile in 1883. Round 7, question number 3. Interestingly, watch the YouTube video of them actually making it work. And doesn't go that fast, and it doesn't even have a steering wheel. It has like a little gibbet thing, which you kind of like steer like a boat. But round 7, question 3. Which car manufacturer is considered to be the oldest in the world? Its inventor and part namesake is credited with creating the first gasoline-powered automobile in 1883. Round 7, question 4. Which company bought the social network MySpace for a record $580 million in 2005. Now, I had this question as part of a Big Nerd 2000s quiz, and we did a whole round about early 2000s technology. We're even talking about different mobile phones and stuff like that. And I interestingly found my old Nokia. It's my old Nokia 7110 with its kind of matrix sliding cover. I'm very happy to have that. I wonder if I don't even know if it still works or not. But yeah. That was kind of one of the rounds. We identified the crazy mobile phones, because all mobile phones look the same now. But round 7, question 4. Which company bought MySpace for a record $580 million in 2005? And let's just put it this way. They sold it for way less than that a couple of years later. Round 7, question 4. Round 7, question 5. So which inventor is credited with inventing the television in the 1920s? Yes, his system involved kind of like scanned lines that were vertical, and they actually didn't go for his method in the end. Although he's still credited with the first working telegraphed visual images. That's round 7, question 5. Which inventor is credited with inventing the TV in the 1920s? And your final question, again, another very interesting one. So what was the first thing ever sent on Twitter? You've got 5 or 6 options there in your Google answer sheet. Round 7, question 6. What was the very first ever tweet? Round 7, question 6. Originally 140 characters. I think initially they wanted it to just replace texts, but it's become a kind of a microblogging site, which is kind of for better or for worse out there. But what was the very first thing ever sent via Twitter? Round 7, question 6. And there's your roundup of questions there. regarding technology and inventions. So what soft drink was invented in 1886 by biochemist from Georgia, Dr. John Pemberton? Number 2, the iconic Rubik's Cube, a popular puzzle during the 1980s, was invented by architect Erno Rubik, but where was he from? Number 3, which car manufacturer is considered to be the oldest in the world? Its inventor and part namesake is credited with creating the first gasoline-powered automobile in 1883. 4, which company bought MySpace for a record $580 million in 2005? 5, which inventor is credited with inventing the TV in the 1920s? And 6, what was the first ever thing sent via Twitter? Alright, so we've got one more round to go. And like I said, once you finish the round, all you have to do is press submit. You'll get your scores immediately. And what I'll do is we'll take a 5-minute break, and I'll come back to you with the answers, and we'll see who's actually won today's quiz itself. Alright, so let's get ready. Let's play the final round, and the final round's all about geography. Yes, this is another picture round. I'm going to show you 6 images of outlines of countries. You may recognize them from staring at maps a lot. So anyway, very straightforward. If you've lost points throughout the quiz, you'll definitely pick up some here because they're quite easy. Or are they? I don't know. Up to you to find out. So here we go. 6 outlines of countries. All you have to do is identify that country. Round 8, question number 1. So name this country. I'll leave them up for a couple of seconds each, so we go through them, have a fair amount of time with each single one. But round 8, question 1. Round 8, question 2. I'm not going to give any clues to this because I kind of figure you guys will get them. Round 8, question number 2. You'll probably be able to deduce them from the actual options on the sheet, even if you don't know them straight up. Round 8, question 2. Question 3. Pretty sure the guys in Minsk will probably get this. I don't know why. Just a hunch. Round 8, question 3. Round 8, question 4. Getting a little bit more trickier now. Which country is this? Remember, all these countries are sovereign countries as well. They're not just territories. They're sovereign countries in their own right. Quite like and pointless. Round 8, question 4. Round 8, question 5. This is your penultimate question. Get ready for the last one, and we'll get those scores tallied. Your scores are tallied automatically. I'll get them here as well. But then I'll be able to see who has won the quiz, and if there is to be a tiebreaker. So we will take a 5-minute break straight after this, as soon as I get all the answers in. And here's the final one. So which country is this? Round 8, question 6. Your very final question of today's Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Tripledot Studios special. Here we go. Round 8, question number 6. Okay, gonna go through them one more time so you guys get a fair idea. Make sure it's all nice and fair. Round 8, question 1. Question number 2. Question number 3. Question number 4. Question 5. And finally, question 6. Alright, so that's the end of the quiz. Like I said, tot up your answers, hit submit. You'll all probably find out how you've done, but obviously the team in London won't know exactly how the team in Minsk have got on. So yes, we'll tab these up here in Ireland, and then I'll get back to you with the scores. Alright, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break for 5 minutes, let you guys go to the bathroom, let you guys get a drink, and we'll be back in 5 minutes with all the answers and all the scores. Don't go away. Here we go. Okay, so I've compiled the scores, and I can tell you now, before I reveal who's actually won, there is no tiebreaker. We have an outright winner. All right, but before we get to that, I'm going to give you out the answers for today's quiz. All right, so today's answers for the Tripledot special, and the winner of £20 gift vouchers from the company itself, and we will see what we can do and get some t-shirts thrown out your way as well. All right, thank you very much for all you playing. You've done very, very well, I have to say. But it's interesting to see how he's all done. I always find it fascinating to see how everyone's done every answers and everything like that. So anyway, nobody has got full marks though, I can tell you that. But you have all done very, very, very well. All right, let's look at the answers for today's quiz. Let's see how you've done. So, the first question here today was, what was the front of a ship? The nautical term for the front of a ship is known as a bow. So the new satellite, the thing in the sky at the moment, Neosite or whatever it is, it's actually a comet. Yes, you wouldn't think it is, but it's actually a comet. The Netherlands is the country where the first, for the latest Eurovision was meant to be held. Ghana is the country where the famous dancing pallbearers are from. DeLoreans are built in Belfast. That's a bit of a local one for me. So DeLoreans are actually built up in Belfast in Northern Ireland. And the bullet train is the term used for Shinkansen. Yes. Okay, here's your round two answers. So Mario first appeared in Donkey Kong. GTA San Andreas was the highest selling video game according to the Guinness Book of Records. I've never even heard of this animal until today, but Echidna? I've never even seen one before, but anyway, that is what Knuckles is. 1993 was the first ever official FIFA game, and a icosahedron is what a D20 is, and a Fenchurch Street. It's King's Cross, Marylebone, Liverpool Street, and Fenchurch Street. Your questions for the Marvel DC quiz. Now, interestingly enough, I know Bruce Banner is the name of the Hulk's alter ego. However, in the TV show with Lou Ferrigno, they called him David Banner. Yes, I think apparently legend has it that they didn't think Bruce was a manly enough name to give the lead character. So the character in the TV show with Lou Ferrigno is David Banner. Suicide Squad 2 is the project James Gunn is moving on to. There are 4 Christopher Reeve Superman films. J.K. Simmons is coming back to play Jonah Jameson. Avengers Endgame is the only MCU movie not to have a post-credit scene. And Patty Jenkins directed Wonder Woman. Your next round, your Kevin Bacon order was Animal House, Footloose, A Few Good Men, Apollo 13, Mystic River, and X-Men First Class. All the movies with Kevin Bacon in them, and that was the order they came out. First one there, 6 is how many points you get for sinking the pink. 2, Uruguay is the first country to win the World Cup in 1930. The Ashes is what's played between Australia and England. Lisbon is going to host the Champions League final this year after all the delays. Cool Runnings took place, and the actual events of Cool Runnings took place in 1998. The movie came out in 94, but the film actually took place in 1988. And Michael Schumacher has won the F1 Championship a record 7 times. Alan Shepard was the first American in space. He didn't go into orbit. It was a short 15-minute flight. John Glenn was the first American in orbit, but Alan Shepard was the first American in space, only for 15 minutes. He actually later walked the moon on Apollo 14. The Potemkin was the battleship in the movie by Eisenstein and in 1905. New Zealand was the first country to give women universal suffrage. John Quincy Adams and his son was the first father and son president duo. Later on, obviously, with Bush and Roosevelt and Johnson had shared names, but Adams was the first. Portugal was the country where the Coronation Revolution took place. In 1997 was the year Hong Kong was handed back to China. Your round 7 inventions. 1886, Dr. John Pemberton invented Coca-Cola, not Dr. Pepper. You'd think that. Erna Rubik was from Hungary. Mercedes-Benz is technically the oldest car manufacturer in the world. News Corp. Rupert Murdoch's News Corp bought MySpace in 2005. Obviously sold it for way less. John Logie Bard invented the television. And the first ever thing sent by Twitter was just setting up my Twitter. Didn't even use the full 140 characters. And your final outlines question there. So the countries there were Spain, Brazil, Russia, Morocco, South Africa, and Monaco. Yes, the very, very, very small country, Monaco. So interestingly, that's the end of the quiz. Thank you very much for playing. If in case you want to know what the tiebreaker was, I had set up a tiebreaker just in case, just to give you an idea of what it was. To the nearest kilometer, what is the circumference of the Earth? So yes, what is the circumference of the Earth? And if you were to do that actual question, you've had to have emailed it in to me. The actual answer is 40,000. The Earth is roughly 40,075 kilometers wide. So that was going to be the tiebreaker question there. Yes, that was meant to be the tiebreaker. But however, that's not what we're doing. We didn't do that. We have an outright winner. So here are the winners of today's quiz. And with a grand total of 35 points, it's Lenin is Alive. They are today's winners of the Tripledot Big Nerd Pub Quiz with 35 out of 48, a very good score. In tied for second, we have Spectacularly Failing at 34 to 48. Sorry, we didn't get that. It was 34 out of 48. It's Our Strategy was 31 with a respectable 31 points. George, whoever that is, has just 30 out of 48. Fair play if he was just playing on his own, he or she. 10 Things I Hate About FIPU came in at 30 as well. Oh my goodness, I'm late. At 24. Commendable score, I think, if you were late. You could have paused and gone back, though. Should have did mention that. But you are playing as a group and a team. And team name was just at a 24 out of 48. Just under half. Team Blue with 20 out of 48. But like I said, very well done to you all. And very big congratulations. Those gift vouchers are on your way to you. Lenin is Alive. I'm going to guess you guys are in Belarus, right? Right? Maybe not. I don't know. You could be in London. But well done for Lenin is Alive for winning today's Big Nerd Quiz. That's it from me. Thank you very much for playing the quiz itself. Like I said, I'm always doing these 3 times a week now. The next quiz I'm doing is on Sunday. You can take part in that with your family and friends. If you enjoyed it, by all means, follow me on all my different social media channels there. Big thanks to Oliver for landing me this gig. This is my very first ever corporate gig, and I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I hope it all went well. And like I said, if there's any discussions about the answers of questions, like I said, they're correct in the fact that I think they're correct. But yes, thank you very much for taking part in today's Big Nerd Pub Quiz Tripledot special here in London and in Minsk. And it remains all for me to say thank you very much for playing from all the way in County Down in Northern Ireland. I've been your host, Mark Hughes, and I hope to see you soon. If you want to play again, there's the rest of the quizzes that I'm doing, the General Knowledge Quiz this Sunday. Big Nerd Sci-Fi Quiz as well, and Doctor Who. There's something for everybody there, really. But thank you so much, and I'll hopefully see you soon. And have a great rest of your party, wherever you are, and however you're self-isolating or whatever. Thank you very much again, and best of luck to you guys. Remains for me to say good night.